Bhagavad Kripayalabdam Sadgurum Yesam Chatat Kripalabdam Janana Upakriti Magite Bhagavati Paramam Bhaktim Atanute. Hi friends, thanking the members of DP Kainkariya Sabha, New Jersey, who are the sponsors of today's talk. I am here to present before you the greatness of Ramanuja's grace. Ramanuja's grace is today's topic. We shall understand what I mean by that. Grace is a sort of mercy shown by one person to another who is in need of it. The question is, Ramanuja showed mercy to someone. Who is that? It's we people. It's us that he showered his grace upon. Why? What for? Many people blindly repeat the spiritually historic statement that Ramanuja was very gracious to us. But to understand the depth of the grace he gave us, we must understand first of all in what peril we were. What is the danger from which he saved us? When you denote somebody as a savior, you must explain whom he saved and next from what he saved. To understand that fully well, I think we may have to go back to the alphabet of Hinduism. What is a soul? What is human soul like? What was its future? What was its past? What is its present? What would be its future? What are the corresponding agents which influence the soul's uplift or downfall? The Vedas say that a soul is in size as small as an atom. An atom is a microscopical entity. Anumatram syat atma. This is the Vedic statement. Anumatram syat atma. Soul is as tiny as an atom. But what are its abilities? Once it manifests its fullest abilities, how far can it reach? What is the limit? Rashmikoti samavratam. It's more than the effulgence of sun. Limitless. Sky is the limit. Unbounded abilities it has. But all those abilities were hidden by tamas, that is, ignorance, ajnanam sarvam. That is the famous statement of the Upanishads, which says, Tama asit tamasa gudham. Tama asit tamasa gudham. What does it mean? Darkness was hiding in darkness. Darkness was covering darkness. What a beautiful statement. What language can express this in a better way? What does it mean? The soul, which is as equal to God in abilities, in effulgence, is covered by a certain thing called Maya and Jnanam, whose date of birth is not known. It is anadi, beginningless. How many souls are like this? 1, 2, or a million? No. Ananta Koti, countless, countless. These souls are sustained by the existence of Godhead, like the dots in the body of a deer, like the feathers in the body of a peacock. These souls, countless souls, sustain themselves in the greatness of God. God takes pity upon these souls. He thinks to himself, oh, what a pity. These souls are as capable as me in everything, in glory. But this Maya is covering it. So, let me release them from that. Out of kindness, he wants to release all those souls from darkness, from Ajnanam, from Maya. But when I say all the souls, I am using the word wrongly. I can use the word all only when there is a limit to the count. I told you, these souls are countless. Then where does the word all come from? To make you understand, to a certain extent I use that word. What is the way to release these souls from this darkness? It is by giving them opportunities of experience. So, God becomes many. Ekameva Advitiyam, there was only one without a second. It thought, I will become many. It spread itself into many. What happened? We see these rocks, mountains, hills, rivers, creatures, birds, men and all such created beings. He embedded these souls in these multivarious bodies. When a soul is in a muddy hill, it is almost totally ignorant. Its effulgence is totally covered. It cannot feel anything. Then, by gradually promoting it to higher and higher beings, say like a plant, a unicellular animal, a fish, a bird, a tree, like that, gradually the soul's abilities are released gradually. That is, imagine a lamp is burning, a mud pot is put upon it, the whole light is covered. If you want to see a little bit of light, you can make a hole in the pot. Through that hole, the burning lamp tries to send its light rays. One more hole, 2 holes releasing the light. One more hole, 3 holes to release the light. When ultimately the pot is broken, the complete light comes out. This is the process of salvation, emancipation. This soul is the lamp. This ignorance is the mud pot. By putting the soul in different kinds of bodies which allow only 1% of its sensing capacity, those bodies cover up the soul 99%. It is like putting one hole in the mud pot. There are small plants, bacteria, unicellular animals, And there are still many more insects and creatures which have not been discovered by science. In these bodies, it learns feelings, movements. By gradual promotion, when it reaches to the body of an animal which has 5 senses, it can see, it can hear, it can taste, it can feel. Like that, the soul gets ample scope for releasing its abilities. For the first time, the soul is able to see, come in contact with the outside world. It can hear sounds, it can make some noises, it can taste food, it can grow, it can move, it can run. So these are stages. After these preliminary stages are over, such an experienced soul is placed in the body of a human being. For the first time, the sixth sense is open to it. But because of the past ignorant experiences, that soul in the human body still behaves like an animal. That soul can speak like a man, stand erect, walk like a man, hear and do such human movements, but the heart will be still animalistic. You see? And these are the beings whom we call in society as antisocial criminals. At this level, that human soul is ready to murder, to kill any number of people to satisfy itself. Its culture is unevolved. Its thinking capacity is very limited. Its IQ is very low. Its passions are animalistic. That is one level. Now, in that human body, it commits maximum atrocities. Or if at all it limits itself from committing atrocities, it is because of fear of being punished by more evolved human beings. This soul is punished here on earth by evolved souls, and after death it is sent to a special world called hell. This hell is a world prepared for such souls which need concentrated training. A special kind of body is given to these souls. It is called Yatana Shariram, a body which is fit for experiencing unlimited sufferings. That body will experience the scorching fire. It will get burnt. But once it is burnt, that body creates itself again anew. Once again it is scorched. Once again it is born anew. So the process of punishment goes on. In that Yatana Sariram, that soul experiences unexpressible agony, pain. At the end of the punishment, the soul is a little mature. Now it understands what pain is, what it is to give pain to others. Slight evolution, slight culture has come to it. It is given the next chance. Once again it is born as a human being. This time not that criminal, but still criminal, less criminal. Once again it is brought back to hell or sent back to lower births like a rat, a dog, a tree, a rock or an ant. For countless number of times, the cycle repeats. Then at one stage, the soul is ready for another human being. So, in these human bodies, the soul circulates again and again. It's like the nitrogen cycle. At one stage, the soul is mellow and mature enough to have mercy for his fellow beings. It starts thinking like a rational being. It wants to learn things. It becomes spiritualistic. It learns to respect learned people. It learns patience. It learns piety. But before coming to this stage, the soul has to undergo hundreds and hundreds of births. At one stage, the soul reaches a level where the soul is called a Mahatma, a great soul. Now the soul is full of thoughts of sacrifice, sacrificing for others' sake, sacrificing himself for the benefit of others. It's very religious. It comes in contact with the celestial world. Gods bless the soul. And that soul thinks of salvation. It wants to come out of this karmic cycle of being born again and again, dying again and again. It wants to put a full stop to it. Then it thinks of salvation. What is the way for salvation? The popular and the normal route is the soul must crucify its own body. It must condition its senses by denying its demands. The tongue will say, I want tasty food. The soul must say, no, you won't be given that. The ear would say, I want to hear good songs. The soul would say, no, you won't be given that. The eyes would say, I want to see beautiful sights. The soul would say, no, you won't be given that. This is called penance, tapas. When a soul is trained in this line, at one stage, God blesses that soul with the siddhis, ashtama siddhis, celestial abilities, supernatural abilities. He becomes a rishi, and at one stage, the soul escapes this body through this Brahmarantra and attains salvation. This was the normal popular route. But God took mercy upon mankind. He thought to himself, what a tough task it is to be a rishi, to do tapas, to crucify oneself, to deny the senses its demands. So he thought of a new way. What is that? If a soul will understand that the root cause of all the past births and the only possibility of escaping from this karmic cycle is God's will, and if he surrenders himself to the lotus feet of the Lord said, okay, I will give you a special sanction, a special grace to you. You need not become a rishi. You need not go to the forest. You need not starve. You need not do tapas. You simply believe in me, rely upon my grace. That is Saranagati. Surrender yourself at my feet. I will give you salvation. What salvation a rishi gets after thousands of years of penance, I shall give you in one birth itself. This is a divine secret which was not known to the rest of the world. Lord Krishna was the first person to release it to Arjuna. In the Holy Bhagavad Gita he says, Sarva dharman parityajya, give up all other roads. Mamekam sharanam vraja, surrender yourself to me and me alone. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami, I shall release you from all bonds. Masucha, don't worry. Rely on me. This is the Saranagati Marga. He taught it to Arjuna, but unfortunately this teaching remained a teaching. This did not come to practice. Years passed by, and God thought, oh, my holy teaching became a waste. What shall I do? Then comes Ramanuja. God chooses Sri Ramanujacharya to propagate this root of surrender. Because Mahabharata took place in Dwapara Yuga, that is nearly 5,000 years ago. Then starts Kali Yuga. The nature of Kali Yuga is lack of mental control, lack of willpower. No man will be holy. Even men who are supposed to be holy will not be holy. So in such an age, tapas won't help anybody. Nobody can be a true rishi. This surrender route, Saranagati, Prapati, is the only way. God sent Ramanuja. Ramanuja was the incarnation of Adisesha, the snake god upon which Lord Vishnu is reposing. He came to the world. He lived as a human being, moved with everybody, won their hearts by his preachings. He said, believe in the Lord. Believe in the Charma Shloka, Sarva Dharmana Bharatyaja Mamekam Charanam Praja. Appeal to him, beg for his grace, he will give you. But still then, people were not ready to comply to him. Then he thought, okay, these people do not understand the greatness of my statement. So then what he did, he, on behalf of the whole humanity, placed a request in the presence of Lord Ranganatha. He begged for us. He begged his grace for us. The Lord said, okay, Ramanuja, for your sake, anybody who is connected with you will be given salvation. Merely as a result of Saranagati. He need not rely on tapas. He need not become a rishi. There is no need for that. So, and that literature is called Gadyatrayam in Sanskrit. Gadyatrayam is a conversation between Ramanuja and Lord Ranganatha on this subject. That day, Lord Ranganatha promised Ramanuja, anybody who is connected with you, or to the people who are connected with you, will be blessed by me, by salvation. And that was a grace. Ramanuja showered upon us. Now, to understand still deeper, I shall rake up a few more questions about this Saranagati Marga. First of all, is it that easy to practice Saranagati? It sounds so. To say that you surrender yourself to Ramanuja or the Lord is very easy. More easily said than done. Because Prapati or Saranagati or surrender is technically very difficult. First of all, take for instance experiences in our life. On some days we are happy, on some days we are sad. What is that due to? Happiness and sorrow occur as a result of a man's karma. The word karma comes from the Sanskrit dhatu, root word kri, do, deed. Whatever we do in this birth, will not perish. It will be alive till it gives its full result to the doer. So, God has brought up a tabular column. If you do this, I'll be happy. If you do this, I'll be sad. I'll be angry. Whichever makes me happy will be called a punya. Whichever makes me sad or angry will be papa. So, when we do something bad means hurting others. Vyasa says in one place, Papa Punya can be classified in major two heads. Whatever is done out of mercy for others is Punya. Whatever is done with an evil motive to hurt others is Papa. So, this Karuna, Daya, mercy is the deciding factor. So, depending upon the number of good deeds we have done in the past, some days we are happy, some days we are sad. And that deed again has been very intrinsically classified as manasik. Manasik means mental. A deed which you do mentally. If I mentally think that my neighbor must perish, I might not cause any physical harm to him, but that thought itself is a mental papa, a sin. Or if I commit a sin orally, by walk, I spread rumors about a person, false rumors, it is oral sin. Or I talk against God, blasphemy, that is again a oral sin. Then by deed, killing a man, stealing others' properties, or doing whatever the Smritis have forbidden. So these mental deeds, oral deeds, and physical deeds are being watched over by Yamadharmaraja and his attendants. They maintain an individual ledger for everybody. They are all recorded. You might sleep, they won't sleep. 33 crores of gods are above sleep. They have multivarious portfolios, and many have been designated to take down your sins and your good deeds. That is endless work going on. I may do something behind closed doors in a dark room, but they are above darkness. They watch us. They enter. So these ledgers maintain the Papa Karma and Punya Karma of every man, and these results are butted back. This might sound like a kindergarten school story, but what is written in the Shastras never goes wrong. It might provoke laughter, but if you observe life and its pattern, you will come to a conclusion that it is not a kindergarten story, it is reality. So, bad experiences and good experiences are the results of our deeds. Karma influences a man. Karma is of three kinds, that is Sanchitam, Prarabdham and Agantukam. Sanchitam is the total lot. Prarabdham is that lot of karma allotted for experience in this birth. Agantukam is what is yet to come. So these karmas fashion your life pattern. They keep deciding your destiny. Can we control karma? Yes, you can. It is like saving money in the bank. If you keep saving money, your account will grow. If you keep spending money, your account will come down. The same way, if you keep doing good things, the bad karma will be deceased. It will vanish. If you keep doing bad deeds, your good karmas will vanish. So, now that we understand that our life has been fashioned depending upon our past karmas, we must wake up and decide, okay, hereafter I will not do bad karma. I will do only good karma. Let me diminish those karmas. It's quite possible. And take, for example, the experiences between life and death. When a man dies, what happens till he is born again? The Garuda Purana says the soul is taken to the hell. Yamadharmaraja decides, he passes judgment, and either he is sent above. Suppose he had lived a very good life, he is appointed as a god, God with small g. If he has done a very bad papa karma, he is pushed down to lower births. So in between one's birth and death, the soul is not idle. It once again undergoes either happiness or sadness in some other form. So the space between death and life is not meaningless, it is very active. There again the soul still experiences either pleasure or pain depending upon the karma. If you want to get rid of your karma by yourself, you can by doing good karma, but it's a tough task. It is an uphill task. So, the easiest way is rely upon His grace. Believe in Him. You believe in His nirhetuka kataksham. There is a Sanskrit phrase. It says nirhetuka kataksham. Nirhetuka means causeless. Kataksham means mercy. Causeless mercy. We see a beggar sleeping upon the platform. We find a vessel before him, the begging bowl. We take pity upon him. He is fast asleep. He does not know that we are noticing him. He didn't even ask us for money. But we take mercy upon him. On account of causeless mercy, we drop money in the bowl and go. That is nirhetuka kataksham. The same way, we beg for causeless mercy from God. We request Him, we tell Him that, oh God, I do not deserve your mercy. I have been a bad son. In my past births, I have been repeatedly committing sins. Even in this birth, even after knowing that a particular deed is bad, because of the inner impulse given by the devilish personality of myself, I have done so many sins. Please be kind enough to forgive me and grant me peace of mind and a better life. That is an easy and more reliable way. But however much you beg for grace, difficulties do come because the sins are so much. So, in Kali Yuga, the easy way of getting out of this karma is Nama Sankirtana. Sing the praise of the Lord. Sing out His names. That is why the Vishnu Sahasranama is there. There are 1,000 names for Him. Choose one or chant all. Even one Nama, say Rama or Krishna or Govinda, any Nama is capable of bestowing upon you the cause for His nirhetuka kataksham. Kalau Keshavanama Sankirtanam. You would have heard about a popular story. It seems as the story goes in the scriptures. Once sage Narada could foresee that the oncoming Kali Yuga is going to be very bad. In Kali Yuga, every man will be bad, basically bad. Dharma will go down. All people become sinners. Even spiritual preceptors, pontiffs, religious leaders, even they behave bad. Why should God create such a yuga called Kali Yuga? A yuga which is capable of spoiling your mind, corrupting your thinking. Such a yuga is not necessary at all. God who is so kind, God who is an ocean of milky kindness, why should he do this? He thought within himself. No answer. He could not find out an answer. So when a rishi gets a doubt, what will he do? When we get a doubt, we go to rishi. When a rishi gets a doubt, where does he go? That rishi approaches a better rishi. Sage Narada knows that Sage Vyasa is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu himself. So he goes to the ashram, the hut, the living place of Sage Vyasa. There he is told that he has gone to river Ganges for taking a holy dip. On the way, he accumulates many other rishis who have similar doubts, because he approached other rishis. Those rishis were equally blank in their minds. They could not find an answer. So all of them jointly came to Sage Vyasa's hut, and hearing that he has gone to Ganges for a holy dip, they walked towards the river Ganges. There you see Sage Vyasa is taking bath. You know the Indian way of taking a holy bath? They hold their nostrils like this. They go down deep into the water till their crest goes down. They make sure that their whole body is underneath the water. Then they rise. Then they take breath, go down again. They do it thrice. That is the Indian way of taking holy bath. He was doing that. Once after coming out of the water, he could see Sage Narada along with his fellow rishis coming towards him for clarification. And this Sage Vyasa, who is he? Vyasarupaya Vishnave Namahadese. He is Lord Vishnu. He could read his mind. And here he shouted at the top of his voice before going into the water for the second time, Kali Sadhuhu, Kali Sadhuhu, Kali Sadhuhu. He said that thrice and went into the water. That is Sanskrit. Kali Sadhuhu means in Sanskrit, Kali Yuga is the best age. Kali Yuga is the best age. Kali Yuga is the best age. Look at the parody. Narada was dumbfounded. It's no wonder that he could read my mind, because he's a Maharishi. But how can this be the answer? I am finding fault with the omnipotent God for creating such a age called Kali Yuga, and he gives me the answer saying that Kali Yuga is the best age. How can it be? So rishis wait till the sage comes out of the river. He wipes his body and tells Narada, Brahmarishi, Kali Yuga is the only age where God has given you a bonus, a special privilege, that even by mere chanting of his names, a man will get as much result as he would get in Krita Yuga by doing 1,000 years of penance, or in the next Yuga by doing 100 yajnas. So, merely by singing the names of Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, a man gets that much of punya. It is possible only in Kali Yuga. Kalau Keshavanama Sankirtanam. So when such a bonus is available, will you not say that Kali Yuga is the best age? Who would deny it? I would like to be born in Kali Yuga. Everyone must like to be born in Kali Yuga to get so much of God's grace with least physical effort. What you get by hundreds of years of penance in Krita Yuga, what you get by offering sacrifices, yajnas ishtis hundreds of times in the next ages. You get by simply saying Krishna, Rama, Govinda, Govardhana, Varada, Abhayaprada, Vanamali, Gadi. It's a great thing. Thank God for creating such an age. Kali Yuga is the best age, he said. So, listening to the stories of incarnations of Lord Vishnu, chanting his names, that will give you great blessings. That is the shortest way of getting God's grace. Now, getting liberated from Papa Karma is something different from getting liberated from all karmas. Getting liberated from Papa Karma means you have done something bad and you are suffering from the results. You want to get rid of it. You do some good deed, that Papa disappears. But there is another chance of you committing again Papa, or committing too much of Punya, and as a result becoming a god with small g. And there again you commit horrible sins. Have you not heard of Indra committing adultery? Yeah, an awesome sin. So, getting liberated from Papa Karma is a temporary relief. It's a worldly relief. But if you want to get relieved from this Maya, this darkness, this tamas, this ajnanam which is pursuing you, chasing you, birth after birth, with no relief, that's called moksha. Moksha means liberation. In Sanskrit, moksha means liberation. Mumukshu means that person who wants to be liberated. Liberation from what? Liberation from the bad fate of being born again. Liberation from the bad fate of dying again. You will be no more born, you will be no more dead. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Have you not heard Vajagovindam? So that is moksham. That is the ultimate emancipation. If your past sins disappear by your good deeds and you become lucky, okay, I appreciate you. But you still stand the danger of being born again. That is not moksham. So always aim at moksham, the ultimate liberation. You must no more be born. You must no more die. The permanent solution for birth and death. And this is where Ramanuja Acharya comes. Ramanuja understood the validity of the burdensome life. He was born as a human being. He could experience the hardships of a man. He can simply watch from above a man's sufferings and say that man is suffering. But to be born as a man, to be hungry thrice a day, to beg for food thrice a day, to sleep, to suffer from diseases, and to face all realities of life is something great. And Ramanuja did it for us. He was born as a man. He was afflicted by hunger and thirst. He had all the complaints of any other human being. Once he was lost in the forest, he did not know the east or west. Then God himself came and guided him. He had to beg for his food, daily food. And his enemies mixed poison in that rice. And Lord Vishnu saved him. And there were kings who were ready to kill him. He had to run away to Mysore. He had all the hardships of a man. He slept with us, he ate with us, he laughed with us, and he cried with us. He was a 100% human being. He knows what it is to be a human being. He knows what it is to live as a man. He has practically faced it. And his heart was filled with grace for man. His heart was filled with mercy for man. Oh, what a pitiable being this man is. He deserves God's mercy. He begged for us to Lord Ranganatha, O Lord, please grant these people salvation. If you allow them in their route, it is not before millions of years are spent that they will attain salvation. So, for my sake, on their behalf, you please grant me a boon that they will be given salvation, just because they are connected with me. And that attitude touched the heart of God. Oh, this man, how much he feels for the sufferings of others. Okay, that boon is granted. Anybody who says Ramanuja, anybody who utters your name will be given salvation. And there is a book called Ramanuja Nutrandadi. It's called Prapanna Gayatri. In that, every hymn utters his name once. If you total up the number of verses, it is 108. So if you want to utter the names of Ramanuja 108 times, you completely read that book. It's like Gayatri, Prapanna Gayatri. That is the Gayatri of any mumukshu, anybody who wants to attain salvation. So if merely by uttering his name, Ramanuja, this 4-letter word, our Acharyas said, Om Namo Narayanaya is an 8-letter mantra that might give you salvation or might not. But Ramanuja, this 4-lettered mantra, will definitely give you salvation. Why go for 8 letters? Come to these 4 letters, simpler. Simply say Ramanuja. To say Ashtaksharam, you have to be clean. You have to follow Acharams and Anushtanams, take bath. To say Ramanuja, you can be as dirty as possible. You can be on your bed, half asleep. You have just now woken up and your mouth is still dirty, unclean. Still then you can say Ramanuja. You call the names of Ramanuja, you get salvation. And such a great boon God gave to him. And you would have heard about Kuratalvar. Kuratalvar was the right hand of Sri Ramanuja, and by doing service to him, he won the grace of God. When there was a danger waiting upon Ramanuja's life, Kuratalvar went as his proxy. He told the king, Chola king, that he himself is Ramanuja. He wrought his anger. He lost his eyes for such a great sacrifice he did to his Guru. The Lord granted him salvation, even before Ramanuja could attain. And it seems when Kuratalvar was promised salvation, Ramanuja went dancing. He said, oh, I am happy because once Kuratalvar goes to Sri Vaikunta, he will not spare me alone. He will take me also to Sri Vaikunta. That means my salvation is registered, reserved. Such a great saint he was. So, Prapati, that is Saranagati, is more effective while you do it to Ramanuja. There are 2 Saranagatis. One, Bhagavad Saranagati. 2, Acharya Saranagati. Bhagavad Saranagati is normally what we do to Lord Vishnu. But if you surrender yourself to Ramanuja, that is Acharya Prapati, that will not let you down. When you do Bhagavad Prapati, it is something like requesting some person, holding his hands in yours, please sir, help me. He might grant you what you wish, or he might not. But Acharya Prapati is like holding his feet and begging for his grace. He won't say no. His heart will be molten. So, Acharya Prapati is more reliable. So, Ramanuja Prapati is more reliable. There are many Saranagatis we come across in Shastras. Could have heard about Vibhishana Saranagati, Sugriva Saranagati, Sabari Saranagati and all. This Vibhishana Saranagati, Vibhishana surrendered himself to Rama in order to get the throne, in order that Ravana will be killed and he must become king, and he was granted that. Sugriva Saranagati, Sugrivan, he wanted his brother to be killed and he wanted to become king, and Rama granted that also. But Sabari's Saranagati is more. When Sabari attended to Rama in her ashram, she said, I was waiting to invite you to my hut and show you my hospitality, not because of my own wish. My gurus, before attaining salvation, commanded me that I must do this. I have done it now. So now I have done my duty. So I go to the place, go to the holy abode of my guru. Saying so, she enters into divine fire. So her Saranagati is supposed to be of a high order. Now, I told you of Ramanuja opened us the route of Saranagati. Ramanuja, during his lifetime, he appointed several representatives called GS and Sannyasis as Acharya Purushas. If you get Panchasamskaram from them, that assures you that you are connected to Ramanuja, and Lord Ranganatha will fulfill his promise to Ramanuja and you will attain salvation. That is a very easy way of attaining salvation. There are several ways of attaining salvation. Some people believe in tapas, some people believe in namocharana, some people believe in acharyas of other routes. Ramanuja opened up a way which is surer and easier than other ways. That is why we believe in Ramanuja's route. You read his biography, you listen to Ramanuja Nutrandade, keep chanting his names, and that will ensure you your salvation. By appointing Ramanuja's way, you can rest assured that you need not resort to other ways. Some people would say donating to temples will give you salvation. Some people would say build a new temple, you will get salvation. Some people will say you go and take bath in Ganges and all holy rivers of India, you will get salvation. Some people will say you serve great souls, saints, you will get salvation. I am not denying that. They have their own validity. But Ramanuja Marga is an easier one and a surer one, because that has been vouchsafed by the Lord. Lord Ranganatha himself has promised that anybody who relies on Sri Ramanuja's feet will be given salvation. It is a straight route. And one interesting thing is, what Ramanuja did on behalf of humanity, other leaders have not. There are many routes for attaining salvation. But only in Ramanuja's life, we find this particular occurrence, that on one Uttara Nakshatra of Phalguna month, he prayed to Namberumal, that is the Utsava of Lord Ranganatha, that all people connected with him must attain salvation. This one occurrence we do not come across in the biographies of other saints and sages. That is one singularity. So it is something like a blank check already given to you. The only thing is you have to fill up the amount and go to the bank. Once you come under the holy feet of Ramanuja's shade, well, salvation is sure. Unless you say, no, I don't want salvation, it will not go away from you. So this written blank check, why do you want to miss? That is the individuality of Ramanuja's grace. So, as Vivekananda would say, it was Ramanuja who took the Vedas and the scriptures to the man in the street. It was Ramanuja who made Hinduism available to the meanest citizen of India, to anybody living as a human being. Today, the Ramanuja's grace travels abroad. It has spread all over the world. There is not a single statement in Ramanuja's preachings which is against the wishes of anybody living anywhere in the world. It transcends castes, colors, creeds, nationalities, languages, and civilizations. Anybody is welcome. Anybody who accepts Sri Ramanuja will be accepted by Ramanuja. Anybody accepted by Ramanuja will be accepted by God Omnipotent. And a salvation which is the result of a very tough task, namely tapas and renunciation and forest living, is given as a free bonus, just as Tirupati Laddu handed over to you upon your palm. Salvation is waiting for you. Take it. Why do you delay time? Srimati Ramanujaya Namah.